And whatever way the legs naturally cross, that's fine for now. We'll switch it in a second. But just go ahead and put your hands on your knees. And give yourself a moment to really connect the sits bones to the ground, like I already said earlier. But also, if you notice that you're leaning forward a bit, a lot of times we kind of project about what's to come. So just take a moment and lean back, almost as if there's a wall or a tree behind you. Just kind of settle back into the present moment without the anticipation of what's to come. So sit back, relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, relax the eyebrows. And just take a few deep breaths. Allow the belly to expand on the inhale. And exhale completely. Empty the body of all the air. And you can begin that ujjayi breathing where you constrict the back of the throat on the exhale. That ocean's breath. And maybe you constrict the throat on the inhale. And if you find that the mind is still a bit wandering outside of yourself, just give it the task of focusing on the sound of your breath as it moves through your body. And notice how when you use that ocean's breath, that ujjayi breath, the sound kind of overrides any of the thought. Sit the spine up nice and tall. And go ahead and set an intention for your practice today. So what are you looking to gain this morning? Happy Friday. Maybe you want to face the palms up if they're not already, just to be open to receive whatever beautiful energy wants to come through today for you. Keep breathing, deepening the breath, and making those exhales a little bit more forceful. Taking a moment just to check in and notice any thoughts, any feelings, any sensations. And like clouds in the sky drifting by, just notice, observe, don't attach to it, don't give it a story or a label. Try not to judge it. But go ahead and keep those hands on the knees. And just begin to draw circles with the torso. So keep the sits bones connected to the ground. Just slowly sway, rock the body in this circular motion. Now, you can choose to really hone in on what's happening in the body here, especially for low back stuff here. So you really want to keep those sits bones anchored in and move slow so that you can actually feel the stretch happen in that back body. Hopefully low back. You'll switch the direction, go the other way with those circles, and just notice the difference. Keeping the spine tall, the chest is open. Good. Slowly coming back to center, switch the way that the legs are crossed. Keep your blocks close by. I don't know that we're going to use a strap today, but have your blanket and your blocks. We might. I'll see where the energy moves us. You'll go ahead and take those blocks out in front of you and just open them up nice and wide, so a little wider than shoulder width apart. This again is for the low back if we choose to connect to that. So I want you to really roll the sits bones down and then just drop the chest towards the floor. Now don't drop down so much that your sits bones lift up, because then you're going to lose the low back. So keep rolling the sits bones down and just come down as far as you need to get a nice extension in that back body. So instead of focusing on the shoulders and the chest here so much, focus more on that low back. Roll the sits bones to the ground. Extend through the back body, the low back, mid back. And you can also release the head here, just shaking the head yes and no, letting it drop heavy. A little bit of swaying from left to right will distribute the weight in the back body a little bit. At the same time, making sure those sits bones, those hips stay on the ground. Good. You'll slowly walk those hands back up. Bring those blocks with you. A nice tall spine. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Palms come to prayer. Good. Exhale, bring those palms behind you. Prayer hands point down. Elbows point up. So really just working through the chest a little bit here. Keeping the spine nice and tall. If you want a little movement, you can come over to the left and to the right, but keep the engagement with the chest and the arms pointing up towards the ceiling. Relax the jaw and the eyebrows. Good. Slowly you'll begin to open those elbows just a little bit more. So think about those shoulder blades squeezing in and then come back. Keep those elbows pointing to the sky and then come back. Just a few of these. Opening up those angel wings. Strengthening a little bit. Deep stretching into the shoulders and chest. Good. Go ahead and release. Inhale. Those arms are going to come all the way up. Breathe here, hold, stay nice and tall. Extend it up through the spine. Relax the shoulders down even though the arms are up. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, release. Let all of that energy and tension just fall down around you. Oh, relax the shoulders down. If at any point today you all are moving through these deep stretches and you feel a bit of a release that might want to happen emotionally or in any other way, please give yourself the permission to let that happen. I'm sensing a bit of that. Maybe it's for myself, but I'm also sensing a bit of that for others that may be here with us. So if that happens for you today, just let that happen. Let it go. All right, go ahead and open the legs up nice and wide. Big wide angle, flex those feet, open up. Now, if you have a blanket, I'm suggesting that you sit on it so it drops you deeper into the hips if you want. I'm suggesting it because we want to release all this stuff that we hold in the body. Good, spine is nice and tall. Now again, we're just going to rock through a little bit, see how we are today in the hips. So just forward, keeping the spine tall, just come forward a little. Dropping into the hips a little deeper, stay there and breathe. Flex the feet. Good, come back up. Come over to the right, shift the weight, grab that right foot. Stay nice and tall in the spine, keep that chest open. So you can even think about rolling that left shoulder open a bit and looking up maybe. Breathe there, take a breath or two. Come back to center, drop forward. Really dropping into the hips. Keep the feet flexed. Good. Coming up. The taller your spine is, the deeper stretch you're going to get. So let's really focus on alignment today. Grab that left foot, roll that right shoulder open, maybe look up. Oh, dropping into that left side. Noticing the difference from side to side, right? Noticing that beautiful release that wants to happen. The more we resist it, the more uncomfortable it's going to be. If we can just surrender to it, come back to center, drop forward into the hips again. Keep those shoulder blades squeezing towards each other. Keep the chest open. And breathe. So the power is in surrender, right? And that goes for our physical body, but it also goes for the emotional body, the mental body, spiritual body. Come over to the right one more time. Roll that left shoulder open. Squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit. Open the chest. Look up. A breath or two here. Deep, complete breath. Keeping the sits bones on the ground. Feeling that side body stretch as well. Come back to center. Hands in the middle. Shoulder blades in. Chest draws through. Slowly come back up. And last time, over to the left. Roll that shoulder open. Look up. Ooh. The left side is way tight. I'm just noticing the difference. Good. Coming back to center. You'll go ahead and just shake it out a little bit. Just rock those feet a little, like windshield wiper through them a little. Also noticing that that gives you a bit of rotation and movement up in the hip socket. So just enjoy that if that feels good. Take those hands under the knees. Oh, bring those legs in. Hug those knees in nice and close. Let the belly come to the thighs. Relax the shoulders down. If it feels better for you to bring the hands underneath the legs and just let those legs draw those shoulders towards the floor. This will give you nice extension in the neck. It's going to really draw the shoulders away from the ears, but stay extended in the back. So don't round through the back here. Notice what this feels like. If you want, you can bring that left ear to the left shoulder. Keep that engagement, tall spine, shoulders drawing to the floor. Roll the chin to the chest. And take your time here because this will get pretty deep into the neck if you want it to. So move at your own pace. Right ear to the right shoulder. Notice that you're using your core muscles to sit up. Good. Just rolling left and right, releasing the neck. Awesome. Slowly release those arms. Come off of that blanket. You're going to bring those knees to bend. Your hands are going to come behind you with the fingertips facing in towards the body. All right, so make sure that your hands, as you can see, my hands are hopefully directly below my shoulders. When I squeeze my shoulder blades in, my shoulders are going to come back a little bit. My chest is going to open. That's good. We want that. When you're ready, you're going to inhale and just begin to lift your hips up. Press into the inner arches of the feet. Feel that opening in the chest. Bit of an internal rotation in those shoulders as you open through the chest. You may or may not like this. If you don't like it and it's uncomfortable, breathe into it. Let it be uncomfortable. If you do like it, breathe into it. Enjoy it. Slowly come back down. Hips will come to the floor. Soles of the feet will come together. And you'll close it down for a second. Keep the sits bones connected. Surrender through those hips. Drop those knees towards the ground. Now, if you need to, a block can come in really handy here. I want you to take a few really deep breaths here. So get into a place where you can hang out for about 5 complete breaths. And I really want you to focus on the release in the low back. So my ladies, I know all of you ladies, including the one that is not here with us live today, We are super bendy flexible. Wonderful. What I want you to think of today is keeping those soles of the feet together. Draw the feet away from the body a bit. So I know a lot of us like to come in, we like to feel that in the inner thighs. This time, draw the feet away from the body. Keep the soles of the feet connected. Then see if you can drop through the knees and bring the head down. So bring the head to relax on a block that might be just above those toes. Hopefully this is going to give you a little bit more extension in that back body. Keep your sits bones connected. Relax through the hips. Relax through the jaw. Your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Your palms are facing up. And you're just going to take about 5 really deep, complete breaths here. Staying really grounded in the hips and the sits bones. And noticing how moving the feet away from the body totally changes the stretch for you. Maybe you still feel it in the inner thighs, yes, but notice where you're feeling it. It's probably a little bit of a different place than it is when you bring those feet in close. Connect that back body. Are you able to lengthen by rolling the sits bones to the ground more? Use the elbows, press the elbows and forearms into the ground and really draw the low back, the tailbone to the ground. Use your body as a tool to get the stretch you need. You ladies have been practicing yoga for a lot of years. You know the deal. So take time to really explore and see what works for your body today. Good. Eventually, you're just going to begin to straighten those arms out and drop the forehead towards the feet now. So really extend. Notice if this is a bit more uncomfortable for you because the feet are further away. Where do you feel that? Maybe your forehead comes to your feet, maybe they don't. Either way, close it down. And you're going to take a few deep breaths here with the forehead towards the feet and the head. Basically, the energy is connected whether or not it's touching. So I want you to imagine that you are this sphere of energy, because you are in this moment. And inhale, your breath is going to come up that left side of the body, all the way up. Let it travel all the way up to the crown, and then exhale all the way back down the right side of the body. Inhale up the left. Exhale down the right. One more breath like that. Inhale up the left. And exhale down the right. Just nurturing yourself with your breath, with the energy contained in this nice little sphere, or whatever it is for you. Maybe it's a diamond, or but eventually you'll begin to come back up. Bring the hands underneath those legs, close those legs, and shoot those legs straight out in front of you. Good. So point and flex the feet. Just stretching through the hamstrings a little bit. Yep. Bring those hands onto the floor behind you. And you'll just inhale and lift up. Now your fingertips can face in or they can face out, depends on you. Inhale, lift. Just give yourself the opposite sensation of what we just did. Notice how this feels for the body. Slowly coming down. We're going to go ahead and roll ourselves over. Come into a nice kneeling position. And we're really getting into the body today. We're really going to open up all those channels in the body. Neck, shoulders, hips, wrists, tops of the feet. When we get all that energy moving and flowing, we open up and release in these places, everything can move the way it's supposed to. Our emotions can move the way they're supposed to. Our thoughts can move and not get stuck the way they're supposed to. So the physical body is a tool to connect a little bit deeper and find peace in other bodies, right? Come on to the tops of those legs. Let the thighs feel a little bit of a stretch. Tops of the feet are flat. Now this is a big release, so take your time, especially if you haven't done this one in a while. We're going to release through the tops of the feet. If you haven't done this in a while, you use caution. Just be very slow. Hands will come behind you. You can also take your blocks if your hands don't reach down or you feel a little bit uncomfortable there. You can use the blocks. It doesn't matter because we're not going to be, it's not about the chest here, it's about the feet. So, hands on the blocks. All you have to do, face those fingertips in, is bend the elbows, lean back a little bit, and begin to lift the knees off the ground. Keep the feet together. If you feel your knees, be very careful. Listen, your knees can come off the ground a centimeter. They don't even have to come off the ground. If you're feeling a release in the tops of your feet, it doesn't matter how high up the knees get. So just observe, just explore that. Good. Eventually come all the way back down. Ooh, tap out those feet. Notice the sensation in the body. Come up onto the toes. Press back. Just hang out here for a breath or two. Noticing what this feels like. Good. Let's slowly come back. You're going to come into a regular tabletop. Bring those hands below the shoulders, knees below your hips. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Really press that floor away. Really create some extension, some space in the back body. Inhale, you'll drop the belly. Look up. Try to draw that chest through. Squeeze the shoulder blades in. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, round. Tailbone to the floor. Pointing to the floor. Round to the spine. Press the floor away. Inhale, drop the belly and look up. One more. Exhale and round. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Good. Now come back to center. Take a moment, press back for child's pose just briefly. Bring the big toes together, knees are nice and wide. Extend those arms out. Spread the fingers, bring the forehead to the floor. And take a moment to just observe the energy flowing, moving through the body. And notice if you like what that feels like, if it's a bit uncomfortable or intimidating for you, that movement of energy. And either way, regardless of what you feel, just breathe into it. Don't attach to it. Whether it's good or bad, if you choose to put labels on it. Nothing is forever. Everything is temporary. So finding that balance of just simple detachment is helpful, right? Because we don't get too attached to the outcome, to the sensations. Good. Slowly come back up. Now we're going to go ahead and isolate the ribs. So for those of you, I know that Joy, we were talking about this the other day, the ribs. I don't know how you're feeling today, but we want to keep that nice and open and moving and flowing. So we're going to isolate the ribs and just think about drawing circles. So I'm going to walk you through it the first time, and then you just kind of close your eyes and feel this circular movement in the ribs, creating space each time you bring it around. So coming to that tabletop, left ribs, you're going to draw them out to the left side, up and back, almost like a cat, over to the right side, open up through the ribs, drop them down, so over to the left, round them up, over to the right, drop them down. Now close your eyes and just feel this pose. Let the elbows bend, let the hips rock back. Whatever feels good for you, do that. Whatever creates space in the ribs and opens up the side body, do that. And then eventually, you're going to switch the direction of those circles. Bring those ribs to the right, back, left, and down. Again, just finding that organic movement. Don't worry so much what it's supposed to look like. Just feel it. And this is a really good one. Keep moving through. This is a really good one to release that fight or flight state we can put ourselves in when we're stressed or we're, worried about something, or, we just get triggered sometimes, right? And sometimes we get into that fight or flight, and it's hard to shake it out of the body. So this kind of movement, just creating space, opening up, is helping that release and let go. So come back to the center. Good. This time you're just going to press back, knees together. Extend through the spine, reach those fingertips out. If you want to bring your forehead onto a block, maybe on its lowest height, this might feel really nice because I want you to stay here for a few breaths. Support the head so that you can really bring those hips back towards the heels. Really bring the belly onto the thighs. And just extend. Melt that torso over the thighs. Reconnect with your intention. Let the belly expand on the inhale. Let it cover the thighs. Feel that connection to yourself. The back body is releasing. Shoulder blades drifting apart. All the muscles down the back are being stretched apart. Spine is getting some space. Just a little roll in that head from left to right. Massage the third eye a little bit. Good. Eventually you'll come back up. Come into that tabletop. Keep your blocks close by and grab your strap. Yes, we are using the strap after all. All right, so you're gonna take the strap, come into a comfortable seated position. I'm actually gonna try and stay up like this. But it's totally up to you because we're going to do cow face in the arms. So it's totally up to you if you want to sit in a comfortable cross-leg position. That's cool too. I'm just going to stay up in a kneeling position today because I know I need this. So again, just whatever your body needs. You're going to take this strap, let this buckle part come down, drop the strap over the right shoulder. Okay, so make sure it's long enough so that it's touching the ground. Good. Now your left hand is going to come behind you and grab the strap with the palm facing out. So you feel a nice internal rotation on this left shoulder. Got that? Right arm is going to come above. It's going to grab behind the head and grab the strap. Good. Now when you're here, you're going to think about that right elbow pointing out to the side, to the right. Now, if you want to walk the hands in a little closer, you can. But again, don't overdo anything here. Just think about the chest being nice and open. Yep, be where you need to be. Breathe. So the spine is nice and tall. You're engaging your core so that you sit up. Tailbone rolls to the floor a little bit. Good. 2 more breaths. Gaze is straight ahead. Notice where you're feeling this. All the sensation in the body. Good. Now you'll slowly release this left arm. Release the right arm. Bring it up and around. And bring both arms out like a T. Open and close those palms. Just open and close. You can stretch it out. Swing the arms. All right. Now we're going to switch. Bring that strap over the left shoulder. Ooh, and I'm coming down as well. Strap is over the left shoulder now. Buckle part comes to the floor. Sit the spine up nice and tall. This time, this right arm comes behind you. Internally rotate. Face the palm out. Grab the strap. Left arm comes up and above behind the head. And grab the strap. Now notice the difference from side to side. There might be a very drastic difference like me, or you might not notice too much of a difference at all in where the hands are. Either way, you're going to think about this left elbow opening up to the left. Keep the chest squared off, straight ahead. And breathe. Try to release and relax any tension you might be holding in the legs, in the jaw, in the eyebrows. Keep working that left elbow open to the left. Gaze is straight ahead. 2 more complete breaths. This one might get a lot of action energetically in the body, especially if you're holding a lot of tension in the shoulders and in the neck, like I do. Good. Last breath. You're just observing all of that. Release that right arm down. Oof. Release the left arm up. Bring both arms out like a T. Swing those arms. Notice what that felt like for you. For me, that was a bit intense. So just, observe that. You're going to take both hands, fingertips on the shoulders, and just draw circles. You can choose to do it at the same time, or you can do one at a time, whatever feels good for you. Just kind of shake that out. Move that around. All right, good. We're going to go ahead and come back into a tabletop, and we're going to bring ourselves into, we're going to come into a nice frog pose. So take a blanket if you have it, stretch it across the mat, or maybe you have 2 blankets, one on either side of the mat. We're going to come on down. So bring those knees nice and wide. Once those knees are nice and wide, you're going to slowly begin to come down onto the forearms, all the way down onto the belly. Keep those knees wide. I want you to feel a stretch in the inner thighs. Maybe the feet come together, maybe they don't. It's a whole other ballgame when I have to actually do the poses with you guys while I'm teaching. Kind of like it though. All right, so soles of the feet will touch if they can, otherwise it can be open, it's fine. You're all the way on the belly, hopefully, and you're feeling a nice deep stretch in the inner thighs, inner groin. Oh. Maybe even outer hips a little bit. Just notice where you feel it. I actually like to draw circles with my feet when I'm in this pose. It really opens things up. Right. So just thinking about the front of the hips pressing into the floor. Thinking about the breath being nice and deep, the jaw being relaxed. And thinking about everything we discussed yesterday in our guided meditation class. I know all of you were there. So this is sacral chakra. Sacral chakra is that creativity, that joy, that inner child, that passion. Personally, I love to use this pose as a way to release any stagnant or stuck energy that might be there. And I just kind of imagine it dripping out into the earth, be transformed into something of a higher vibration. Every pose can be an intention. Every breath can heal you a little more. The key is to just connect and know why you're doing it. Good. A couple more breaths here. Letting the energy circulate, open up. Eventually you'll begin to open the feet and just windshield wiper through the legs a little bit. Get a little movement, a little rotation. Eventually those legs will come down. Bring the legs together nice and straight. Roll through the hips. Keep those knees together and then press back. For child's pose, knees together, release the low back. That one brought tears to my eyes. Slowly come back up. We're going to actually stretch into the wrists. So let's go ahead and do that. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath those hips, come onto the tops of the toes, stretch into the feet. All right, take those fingertips, spread the fingers nice and wide, face the fingertips towards that right knee. And the right hand. Left hand does the same thing, fingertips towards the knee. Now know that you are in control of how deep of a stretch you're getting. So if you want more of a stretch, walk your knees back. Or your hands up, whatever works. The further away they are from each other, the deeper stretch you're going to get for your forearms, your wrist. Round out of the back a little bit. Press through the palms. Breathe into the forearms, into the wrist. Release the head. Shake the head yes and no. Maybe draw some slow circles. Just distributing the weight throughout the wrist. Make sure you go in both directions if you're making circles. 2 more complete breaths. Being in the body, the breath, the sensation. Slowly come off that right hand, slowly come off the left, and we're going to switch. Don't worry, we'll shake it all out when we're finished. Palm is going to face up, fingertips towards that right knee. Spread the fingers wide. Left hand does the same thing. Fingertips towards the left knee. Spread those fingers. Round out of the back. Press through the tops of the hands. Try to make a fist. Open and close, open and close. Shake that head, release the neck. Try to press the thumbs into the floor. Press the pointer fingers into the floor. Middle, the ring finger, and the pinky. Maybe a little swaying from left to right. Two more breaths. Again, just being in the body, noticing, paying attention to whether or not your mind goes somewhere else when you're in these deeper, intense poses. And if your mind goes to a place you want it to be in, that's great. But if it doesn't, bring all your attention back to the sensation in the body and the breath. Be with the intensity and be with the uncomfortability. It's okay. Breathe through it. Slowly come back up. You'll shake those hands out. Release the wrists. Just doing what feels good. It's Friday, maybe a little bit of parade. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and remove that blanket. If it's still on the mat, just remove it. Bring yourselves back to almost a child's pose. We're coming back onto the belly, but we're going to do a couple roll throughs first. So just go ahead and bring the tip of the nose nice and slow to the floor. Come all the way onto the belly. Good. Take a breath here. And then press back. Get that extension in the low back. Reach those fingertips forward. Tip of the nose to the ground. Come all the way forward one more time. Elbows close into the body. And then one more, press back. Start in that child's pose, extend through the body. Exhale, tip of the nose comes to the ground. Come all the way down onto the belly. Take a moment, make a little basket or a little pillow with your hands. Just relax, turn your head over to the right. Breathe and allow the belly to expand on the ground. Connect to the earth. It's underneath the mat. It's underneath this concrete. Or the wood, whatever kind of floors you have. Come back to center. Turn, look over to the left. Really breathe deep into the body. Really expand that belly on the ground. Connect to the support that's there. Good. Open those arms up like a T. Go ahead and look over your right shoulder. Your left arm is going to stay exactly where it's at shoulder height. Your right hand will come by your face. You're going to press into this right hand. Open up through the chest, the hips, everything opens up, including the left side of the chest and the shoulder. So that right knee can bend and come behind you to kind of help hold you up. Breathe. We're opening up the heart space. Being still with whatever comes. Rolling back onto the belly. Arms open back up like a T. This time the right arm is going to stay exactly where it is at shoulder height. Look over the left shoulder. Left hand by the face. Roll the entire front body open. Bring that left foot behind you. Maybe the left hand comes behind the low back. Whatever feels good. Open up through the chest. Making sure you're breathing nice and deep. One more breath, then you'll roll back over onto the belly. Take a moment, take a breath. And just go ahead and reach the arms out in front of you. And we're going to do what I know is called the goddess roll. We haven't done this in a while. And since we're home and it's kind of fun to play with things that we wouldn't usually do in person necessarily. I mean, I would, but we haven't done it in a while. So just go ahead and see what this feels like for you. Your arms are going to reach up above your head. Your forehead will come to the floor, the mat, and you're just going to roll. Roll over to the right, maybe open the chest a little bit, and then roll back over. The arms can stay above the head if that feels good, or maybe you just open up, roll all the way onto the back. So do it a few times, rolling left to right, massaging the sides of the ribs, massaging the back as you roll open. I mean, just enjoy it. And let yourself move in a way that feels good. I like to give myself a little twist on the way when I open up. Something fun and different for Friday. Good. Back to center one more time, over to the left. And back to center. Notice how that felt for you. If that felt good, if you were able to kind of get into a rhythm, bring your hands underneath your shoulders and press back for a brief child's pose, just to release the low back, the hips. Good. And then you'll slowly come back up, come into a comfortable seated position. We'll do a little twisting, and then we'll come down for our final relaxation. So we've done a lot of extending today. And hopefully that opens all kinds of things up for you and gets you feeling good again. So sit in that nice, comfortable seated position. Sit in the opposite way you would naturally sit. If you need a blanket or a towel, whatever you have underneath your hips, maybe you have a bolster, go ahead and do that. So we're just going to revisit that same pose that we did earlier with our hands on our knees. Those circles. Keep your sits bones connected and anchored in. Let's see if there's been any bit of a change. I know we are crossed opposite, I believe, that we were earlier, so just keep that in mind. But again, just noticing if anything has opened up that might have felt tight earlier. Switch the direction, go the other way. Maybe you still need a bit more of a release back there, so just give yourself that movement. Good. Eventually coming back to center, making sure you went in both directions. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, left hand behind you, right hand to your left knee. Sit that left hand close to the body so that it acts as a kickstand for the spine. Get that extension. Breathe. I want you to be really forceful with the exhales here today to really just detoxify, rid the body of toxins. It doesn't necessarily have to be food toxins or environmental. It can be emotional. It can be mental. So a deep inhale and exhale. Let it go. Squeeze the belly button to the spine. Empty the body of all the air. One more. Exhale. Good. Come back to center. Take a moment. Close it down for a second. Sits bones are very much connected to the ground. Use those palms, press into the floor, roll the sits bones back, get that stretch in the back body. Eventually you'll come back up to center, switch the way that your legs are crossed. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, right hand behind you, left hand to that right knee, relax the shoulders. All right, here we go. 3 opportunities to let go and release. Detoxify the mind, body, and spirit. Deep inhale. Exhale. Belly button to spine. Deep inhale. And exhale. One more. Exhale. Slowly come back to center. Hands on the knees. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. We're not closing it down this time. Exhale, close. We're just moving through. And one more, exhale, round. Inhale. Relax those shoulders. Relax the eyebrows. Drop the chin to the chest. Breathe into the back of the neck. Keep the spine nice and tall. Imagine sending breath out the back of the neck on the exhale, like a spinal cleanse. Roll that left ear towards the left shoulder. Stretching into the right side of the neck, maybe bring those right fingertips onto the floor. And just letting that right shoulder feel nice and heavy. Maybe turning the chin to the chest. A couple more breaths here. Releasing any tension that's in the neck area. I want you to think about the neck for a second. What chakra is that connected to? The throat. So if you hold a lot of your tension and stress in the neck and shoulders, that could mean something for you. Bring the chin back down to the chest. Take that right hand back onto the knees. Deep inhale. And exhale out the back of the neck. Sorry about the blue jays. I don't know, they're going crazy outside. I don't know if you guys hear that. Good. Now you'll slowly roll the right ear to the right shoulder. Left fingertips will walk out onto the ground just to get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Relax the left shoulder, nice and heavy. Maybe turn that chin over to that right shoulder a little bit, just exploring with what you might need to get that nice deep stretch on the left side of the neck. One more complete breath. Releasing anything at the throat chakra. Bringing the chin back down to the chest. Left hand will come back onto the knee. Don't do any work with the neck at all. Just take the fingertips underneath the chin, lifting the head back up. Looking over to the right. And coming back to center, over to the left. And back to center. A little roll through the shoulders if that feels good. And then we're going to go ahead and come down onto our backs for our final relaxation. Hug those knees into the chest. If you like a little blanket under the head, you can put that there. Allow the arms to open up like a T. Maybe you want to rock a little bit first. And as a matter of fact, go ahead and open the knees up a little bit. Grab the outer edges of the feet and come into happy baby. Relax the shoulder blades on the floor. Let those shoulders be nice and heavy. Just let the gravity of those hands drawing down on the outer blades of the feet stretch through the hips. Draw the sits bones. Sorry, not the sits bones. The sacrum and the low back to the floor. You definitely won't get your sits bones on the ground here. Just breathe. Open up one last time through those hips. Good. You can rock a little bit. Eventually bring the soles of the feet together. Open those knees, draw that low back to the floor. Think about those feet coming in towards the head. Give yourself a deeper stretch. Good. And eventually the feet will come back down. Open those feet nice and wide. Let the outer edges of the feet or the whole foot come onto the ground. Arms will open up. Rock the knees to the left. Inhale to center, over to the right. Shaking it all out. Inhale, center, left again. And inhale, center to the right. Good. So come back up. Bring both knees center. Keep the feet nice and wide. Just see if you can drop those knees in towards each other. Now this is a nice release for the low back, hopefully. But I want you to find a place where the knees will just naturally drop in and you don't have to use any tension or any kind of action to keep them there. Maybe you want to grab opposite elbows above the head. Relax nice and heavy in the low back. Let it really connect to the floor. That sacrum is nice and flat. Just breathe. Being fully present in your body. Being fully present, the thoughts, the feelings, the sensations, if there are any. Maybe a little bit of a smile. Noticing how that completely changes the energy in the body. Maybe even gaze up towards that third eye with the eyes closed. Smile a little bigger. Breathe in that little elevation, that little shift in the energy as you do this. Being in the present moment, recognizing that in this moment all is well. Right here and now. It's all good. Go ahead and open those knees up. And just begin to straighten the legs out. You can decide what your final relaxation is going to be. I thought it might be nice to come into a starfish and just let yourself just kind of splat out and connect. Just feel heavy on the earth. But whatever your final relaxation is going to be, just find that. Reconnecting to your breath again, just like you did at the beginning of class. And seeing if you can elongate each exhale to make it longer than your inhale. And seeing if you can scan the body for any last bit of tension you might be holding on to. And consciously connecting to it and asking it to let go. Relax the eyebrows and the jaw. Let the body feel nice and heavy. Let each one of your exhales drift you a little bit deeper into a state of relaxation and stillness. Slowly begin to bring your mind back into the space, or you can stay there if you'd like. If you want to close your practice with me, maybe bring some movement to the fingers and toes. Stretch and reach, breathing into the belly and the ribs one last time. Exhaling, drawing those knees into the chest and rolling yourself to one side, pausing in the fetal position for a moment. Sending gratitude to the mind, to the body, and to the spirit. When you're ready, slowly making your way up to a comfortable seated position, allowing your head to be the last thing to come up. Sitting that spine up nice and tall, shoulders are relaxed, and bringing yourself back into your seat, into the present moment. Imagining that there's a tree or wall behind you to support your back. Inhale, reach the arms up. Palms come to prayer. And exhale down to the heart center. I thank you for sharing your time and energy with me today. May we walk through the rest of our week with an open mind and an open heart, realizing that our true power lies in the present moment. Namaste.